Average Woodsman here, back with another video. So today I want to go over the 5 C's of survivability. I've shown the 10 C's before. I've talked about some of these items, or probably all of these items, in different videos in different contexts, but I wanted to do a designated video on them, show you why they're essential for your outdoor kit, and how they can translate to other things, and how versatile they are. Remember, these are categories. You don't necessarily have to carry just 5 items if you don't want to. You know, if you want to go minimalistic, you can do that and just carry 5 items. But these are categories, so you could carry multiple items for each category. You know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'll break down the items and I'll show you guys everything. Quick, I want to show you guys how this can be carried with one of the C's, which is cotton, which is one of the 10 C's. So you could have additional C's by carrying. I have the 5 C's inside of here, wrapped in my shamag, and I'm carrying it like a butt pack or like a waist pack with one of the 10 C's, which is cotton. So that's how you can make these items more versatile and still be minimalistic, still be lightweight. All right, so this is the 5 C's. I have 2 cutting tools here, but this is the 5 C's laid out. So you have cutting tool, combustion, container, cover, cordage. This concept originates with Dave Canterbury. He's, you know, a really famous YouTuber, outdoorsman, woodsman. He has a school, you know, all that kind of stuff. I've actually been to his school for a couple classes. It's a pretty good school. You can learn a lot there. It's in southeastern Ohio. These are core gear items that you can add to, you could subtract to, and what makes this so excellent is that they work really well in the wilderness, where most of us, at least if you guys are following this channel, where most of us spend a huge percentage of our time. So these date back, like I said, to around 2010-ish is where he came. It was when I started watching his videos, following him, things like that, and I saw this concept. He based this around what were some of the core items that he saw our ancestors carrying throughout time. So that's kind of where it came from. So the first item is obviously a good cutting tool. Now, it doesn't have to be a Mora. This is just a Mora Bushcraft Black. It doesn't have to be a full tang unless you want to carry a full tang. This knife is more than robust enough. This is a fixed blade knife. 100% though, I will say that with this, when you're out in the woods, a fixed blade knife, I think, is a requirement. Doesn't necessarily have to be full tang unless that's something that you want, but a fixed blade knife is important. Doesn't have to be anything really expensive. This Mora Bushcraft Black isn't very expensive. This is a custom leather sheath, which makes it more expensive. It's a whole piece now, but overall the knife itself and the sheath that it comes with is not bad. Obviously the next one is going to be Combustion. This one's really in there. Combustion, just a simple ferro rod. If you want to carry a bigger ferro rod, that's fine. You can always carry a really large ferro rod. I would say the larger, the more heavy duty the ferro rod, the larger diameter, is going to help with surface area when you're striking that ferro rod. Another thing that's important with your knife is a nice 90-degree spine. Having a nice 90-degree spine on your knife to strike that ferro rod is always a good thing. I'm showing a secondary cutting tool because obviously I can carry this on my belt, and then I can carry this in my pocket, and now I have another cutting tool with a locking blade. This has a really good saw for crafting and things like that. I have other tools on here and all. So I have a lot that I can do with this small tool and this knife, and now I have quite a bit that I can do, and I can craft off the landscape if necessary. This one right here is the one-handed trekker by Victorinox. So the next one is going to be cover. You don't have to carry something like this. I like to carry my Helicon Tex military poncho because of its versatility. Not only can I use this as a cover element because it has grommets, so I can make all different types of tarp configurations, but I can also use this as a poncho if it's in inclement weather. So it starts raining on me, I can throw this over me and get where I'm going, or even maybe sit down and relax and let the rain pass over, and I don't necessarily have to set up a shelter. But if I want to set up a shelter, this gives me the ability to also do that if I want to. And inside of here I do have aluminum stakes, and I have my rapid ridgeline. So that's additional cordage. Another thing, a container is important when you're out in the woods. You can carry something like a Nalgene, especially if you have a metal cup, like nesting cup for it. I recommend personally just going with if you're going with a light, like ultralight, or you're looking for a more lightweight setup, just go with titanium. This setup isn't very expensive, and it's very robust. If I had to, I could always put this in the fire. I can boil in this, or I can boil in this and boil, dump, and I can keep staying hydrated. Also, I can cook in this, I can make medicine in this, and if I had to, I can always take this top off, put this cup over, and make char cloth if I absolutely had to for that next fire mentality. So having a robust a cup and bottle in here that's made out of metal, this one happens to be titanium, is important, and this is very lightweight. I don't have to worry about this weighing me down, and it's multifunctional. The last item is obviously going to be cordage. I carry bank line in my pocket, so that allows me to carry my rapid ridgeline in here, and then also carrying some additional cordage in my pocket. That's going to be a theme with this. This can go in my pocket, this can go in my pocket. If I absolutely had to, I could throw this in a cargo pocket. This is on my belt. And then additionally, and I'll show you guys some additional items, I always have some sort of flashlight on me, so that's an additional C from the 10Cs, candling. And then if you wanted to, for an additional cover item, you could always take something like this emergency space blanket and throw it in a back pocket or throw it in a cargo pocket, and now you have additional cover, especially if you're in a colder environment, or if you're, this can be used as a first aid item, or it could be used to make a more robust shelter that would be actually a lot warmer than just having something like a tarp with a fire. It's just a relatively quick video where I wanted to talk about the 5 C's, how they fit into your kit, why they're essential items that every outdoorsman should carry. You should always have a cutting tool. You should always have some sort of container. You should always have some sort of a cover item. You should always have some sort of cordage on you, and you should have some sort of combustion device. Remember, these items are going to be the hardest to make off the landscape, especially with limited resources and limited skills. You have to have a very specific skill set and very specific resources to make most, if not all, of these items off the landscape. And if you're in a real survival situation, you don't want to have to build something like a primitive shelter, or have to make a knife off the landscape by napping flint or chert or something like that, or have to make cordage by hand. It's not feasible. It's not a reliable way to go about an emergency situation. These are emergency items that you can add to your survival kit, have them on you, have them in your bag or in your shamag. And that's another C from the 10 C's. You have the 5 C's with additional C's, and I didn't have all 10 C's, but I also didn't have a big backpack on me with a bunch of gear that, quite frankly, I'm probably not going to use or need in just something like a day hike for a couple of hours. So that's the video. Remember to like, subscribe, share these videos with your friends and family. I'm gonna put all these links to all these items down in the description if you guys are interested. Be safe, stay dangerous, and I'll catch you in the next one.